Welcome to the Art Project. This lesson is going to be on organic and geometric shape and overlapping and piercing and I don't know. That's it, I think. If you enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up, share it on your favorite social media network, and subscribe to catch more of it. Thanks. All right, we're going to talk about organic and geometric shapes. Organic are random, natural in appearance. In other words, they're like amoebas or flames. And that's not really flamey, but they're natural and random, and they just sort of look like they could have grown there, like a kidney or a liver or something like that. Very natural looking, like they grew in nature, like the organs of your body. Whereas geometric are those ones that you can name, like square, and you can't really, I shouldn't say it like that, you can't name them all necessarily, but a lot of the circles and triangles, and usually drawn with a ruler and usually very precise. And they, like I said, they don't necessarily have to have names. I don't know what the name for this shape is, but it looks so much more precise and unnatural than these do, right? So organic shapes and geometric shapes. And it doesn't mean that all of the shapes are either this one, or that your art has to be either this one or this one. You can have some shapes that are in between, but it's helpful to have words like organic and geometric when you're describing things. Geometric are man-made and precise. All right. So when you're talking about something, you might look at a house and say, that house is very geometric looking. And in our everyday world, most houses are geometric looking. Occasionally you come across a house where someone was a lot more creative and risk-taking, experimental in their building of it, and they make it organic, and it has rounder and softer and less precise looking edges. So that's just kind of a brief explanation of those. For the project that we're going to do, I want you to also include things like overlapping. So I could have a organic shape right here that overlaps this shape right here. And the way this is right now, you can't really tell whether this is in front or if this is in front. But I'm going to erase this part. And now it looks like this shape is in front of this shape, right? You could also have holes in these shapes. And those holes will add some interest and some complexity to your image. You can also do the same with geometric shapes. I'm going to do a geometric hole of a square in this thing, and I'm going to run a rod through the middle of it. Right now, it looks like it goes behind this, but this is ambiguous. You can't really tell whether this is on top or this is on top. So I'm going to erase this part right here, so it looks like it goes through the hole and comes out and overlaps this part. If I had done that the other way around, say if I left those lines and erased these lines, then it looks like this is behind this. To me, this is a really magic part of drawing and art. You can make it do whatever you want it to do. If you remember a minute ago, it was going behind here and in front of this, and then I switched it to look like it's behind both of them, and now I'm going to switch it and make it look like it's in front here and behind over there. So you can manipulate the way these things look. Let's take this a step further. I'm going to put a geometric square hole right there, and I'm going to extend this to go through that hole. But right now, it's again ambiguous. It's confusing as to whether or not it's in front or behind because I haven't completed it. Because I went under right here, I'm going to go over right here, which means I need to erase those two lines. And then I want it to look like it goes through this hole. It doesn't even look like a hole until I make it. So right now, it could just be a square on top of the circle, a square in front of that circle. But I want to erase this and this. And now it appears as if this rod goes through this hole in this square and then through the hole in that square in that circle. All sorts of things can be achieved here. Now, the project we're going to do is a little bit different, but you do not have to keep organic and geometric separate. I could put a hole in this triangle, and then I could run an organic shape through that hole. Again, right now it's confusing as to whether or not it's on top, behind, or going through, but because of the way I drew it, I can erase this if I want to make it look like it's going in front of this part of the triangle, but then I can erase this part and this part to make it look like it's going through that triangle. Magic. It doesn't have to end there. I could draw a hole right here, and I could make something very geometric go through that hole. I'm gonna erase that part right there, and then erase this part right here. And we have these pieces going through. Now, what is this? I don't know. It's just a drawing. It's just me practicing overlapping and intertwining, interlacing parts. And you can do with it what you want to. Let's go over here and add some stuff. I could draw a hole right here. Of course, that doesn't really have to be a hole. It doesn't necessarily look like a hole unless you look at it and think of it as a hole. It could just be a blob on top of a bigger blob. But I'm going to add a ring right here with an inside and an outside. Again, it's confusing, it's ambiguous. You can't tell if it's on top or below or whatever. It's not finished yet. So I'm going to erase this part right here so it looks like the ring is on top right there. Then I'm going to erase this part right here so it looks like it has gone through. And so now they're linked together like a chain. In fact, I can put another link over here. That is organic and geometric shapes, overlapping and interlacing all in one little video. Hope that helped. Let me know in the comments if I left anything out or if you would do anything different. Thanks for watching.